What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tabletop Never Stop. Today we're talking about the Targaryen Heroes box. These guys are a little less mysterious as to who they are compared to the Baratheon heroes, which we did about a month ago. So let's just jump right in. Our leftmost character is a Warlock, almost definitely the Warlock prior pre. So expect him to be NCU. Really, almost like any kind of power he might have. You certainly can't make much predictions what a Warlock would be up to, although I would potentially expect something that is both beneficial and harmful, as this is not a trustworthy character by any means. He visibly has some Shade of the Evening on his belt, which is a Warlock concoction that they drink that turns their lips blue. And it's either a mystical substance that opens your third eye, or it's a psychotropic drug that increases your ability to have telepathy. And that sort of depends on whether or not you view Ice and Fire as a science fiction or fantasy, which is not a rabbit hole we need to go down right now. Next, we have Greyworm, the Unsullied Commander. This will be, this will be interesting. Obviously, there's an argument that Danny has, some of the best cavalry and some of the best infantry in the game, or in the world of Ice and Fire, and so it'll be interesting to see how that translates into the game. I'm expecting Greyworm to potentially, much like Davos Seaworth, swap out tactics cards for House Targaryen, just because the base Targaryen tactics cards, although they're not really like mandatory for cavalry, they're definitely cavalry focused. They don't have triggers that say when a cavalry unit, but they are all about hitting hard and then like maybe in retreating and things like that. Some infantry focused tactics cards with Greyworm could be quite good. Some stuff that's better at grinding out and surviving attacks and things like that. And that way, potentially Targaryen players won't feel like they're trapped having to play just cavalry lists. Next we have Jorah Mormont. He's looking a little hefty here, which I think is probably pretty book accurate. The actor that plays Jorah in the show is lithe and plays him as a very noble character, but in a lot of ways Jorah is actually quite a brute. And Danny often refers to him as a bear of a man, so like a larger guy here. I think that definitely fits the book art, although it's interesting because there's already art in the game of him as not that big, so it's a little weird, but whatever, it's fine. And center stage in the front of the picture we have the merchant Zaro Zoandaxis. Another character we don't know a whole lot about, and not a very trustworthy character, so interesting to see what he does. I mean, he's fantastically rich, which game often apparently results in healing wounds, so we'll see if he ends up doing that. And next we have Strong Bellows, who is a book only character that honestly, if I was to add one character back into the show, it would definitely be Strong Bellows. He was a very fun character in the books. His fate is currently a little bit mysterious, as he was poisoned, but we're never told he's dead, so, if you don't see a body, possibly still around. So pit fighter, I would expect a pretty powerful attachment, and maybe even, this is maybe getting a little crazy, possibly even a solo unit. If there's a character on this box that deserves to be a solo unit, it's Strong Bellows. Sorry, Jorah. And then on the far right, we have Barristan the Bold, who's now made it east and has taken on his role as Queensguard. He's definitely looking important in his new dragon armor here. A little too bad we're not seeing Ariston Whitebeard, which is like a disguise he uses when he first arrives in the east, and he pretends to be Belwas's squire. I mean, I guess we could still get it. But I was hoping for a sculpt of him like that. A little bummed that he's not there, but obviously Barristan is going to be another commander, and probably, at least this version, another infantry-focused commander. We are going to probably someday need a mounted version of Barristan, so we'll see. I guess that'll be in Targaryen Heroes 2. And speaking of Heroes 2, let's talk about some of the other people that are missing in this box. Besides Ariston Whitebeard. Correction, it's Ariston Whitebeard, not Ariston Whitebeard. So, who's missing? Quaithe seems like a pretty gaping hole here. Certainly as big in the story as either Zaro or Priat Pri. Very little showtime, but I do think she's going to be pretty important for the actual Ice and Fire book story going forward. Also, it would be interesting if we had Miri Mazdur. She's the sorcerer who fails to heal Drogo in the Game of Thrones first book, and then is put on the pyre, and either directly or indirectly had a lot to do with the hatching of the dragons. And then let's see, we're also missing Missandei, who's a character who's very different in the books. A lot of characters are aged up, but like Missandei's a child. She goes from being like a 8-9-year-old to like 24-year-old woman in the show. In the books, so like I said, in the book she's a child, and there is some potential that she's actually like more than she seems. She could be a faceless man, because that might sound absurd, but we do know that the guild uses poisons to keep children from like growing up, or like to keep bodies from maturing. Arya is trained by the waif, who's actually even though she appears to be younger than her, is actually a much older woman. So Missandei could be something similar. And the other person that's really missing from this box, honestly, is Dany herself. We have an NCU version of her, but I think we're all expecting, some Commander versions to follow. So please let me know which of these 6 characters you're most excited to see hit the game, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching this video. Bye!